Morning, Keith. Just going to wait for more folks to join, and we'll get started here in a few minutes. In the meantime, I have the risk disclosure up, and you can read through that. I think, Keith, you're well aware of what the risk disclosure says, but if you need a reminder. All right, we got Jim. Welcome, Jim. Hey, Yatikin. Morning. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I managed to pass the combine before my next billing cycle, which was kind of nice. I got it on a promotion, and by the time the next billing cycle was up, that was my goal. I gave myself 1 month to pass, and I was fortunate enough to do that. Hey, Brista. Yeah, it's guys. I mean, it's really not. Yeah, thank you, Mike. Like I said, I didn't take a lot of trades. Okay. 1 to 2 trades per day. There was obviously a target of, profit total I wanted to pull out of the market every day. And once I hit that, that was, stepped away from the market and traded for another day at the right opportunity at the right time. Everything that we talk about in group coaching, is was required, right? I mean, so. All right, so let's see. Just again, I'd like to get to double digits here as far as watchers, and then I'll get started here. There it is. So again, for those who are new, and I think I see a bunch of folks who are not new, but I will say this anyway. Don't be if what I'm sharing and what I'm providing you guys resonates and it supports your journey as a trader. I'd encourage you to hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, obviously hit the subscribe button as well. That supports me and also supports you and encourages me to come and wake up every morning and prepare and provide this content to you guys on a daily basis. All right. So, all right. The risk disclosure is up, guys. I do see, like I said, I do see a lot of veterans in the room. Yeah, definitely. I have to work for it every day. Tron, I have to do the same in the markets. They just don't hand me the money, right? We always have to work for it. So again, guys, I do have the risk disclosure on the screen. I'm hoping by now that you are well aware of it. Welcome, project. But the gist of it is that I'm here as purely on an education level. I'm not here in any sort of advisory capacity, nor do we have any sort of relationship in that way, right? So we all understand that future trading does contain a substantial amount of risk, and we need to plan accordingly, right? We need to use risk capital into the market that otherwise will not impact our ability to affect our lifestyle. So definitely need to keep that in mind, and that definitely need to incorporate that into your trading. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where Axeman or Frizzy are. Buenos dias, Paula. Maybe one day, Paula, I'll do this in Espanol. I'll have a special Espanol version of this. But for today, and I think this is probably going to be fantastic. Yeah, I think most of the other folks in this room would prefer that I do it in English. But one day, we'll have a session like that. Okay. All right, guys. So as I mentioned, the risk disclosure is up. Not Vietnamese. Yeah, well, Vietnamese is going to take some time, Tron. I only know a couple of words in Vietnamese, and they're probably not appropriate for public consumption, right? So, okay, let's see. So let's now that I have the risk disclosure up, and I've kind of gave you a little bit of overview what it discusses and what it mentions. Let's go ahead and do what we normally do, and that is to review. I was taking a peek at gold here, and I guess I noticed that the market was moving. Well, the gold market was moving quite briskly. So I have to think that it had to do with something about some sort of news event. So let's take a look and see what that was or what that is, and we'll go from there. So we'll go ahead and clear this up. And like I said, I generally use investing.com, but really, is more important. Not so much what you use, is that you use it. I think quite important that you remain aware. Just gonna double check here. Yeah, it's quite important that you remain aware of the markets here. Okay, so go ahead and click on apply, and we're gonna take a look. Black screen. Is that correct, guys? Do you guys not see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Can I get somebody to confirm that they do see my screen? I got a little notification. Okay. All right. Excellent. All right. So let's look at the top here. And yeah, so we had PCE report here. So both looks like they came in line with forecast. Well, actually a little bit above. So I guess that was received well by the markets. Again, the good thing, guys, is that there's no other news in the market that could potentially affect the market. Now, I will say this though. Fridays are one of those days that what do they say? We don't want it to be Give Back Friday, right? So if you've had a good week, you want to trade with a little bit more caution, maybe even more than normal. And personally, I would say that maybe limit it to the morning time, because a lot of the participants that we need in the market leave for their kind of weekend homes, or to the Hamptons, and the market gets kind of dull. The volume that we need to drive price in any direction is no longer. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind. I definitely have stats that show that Mondays and Fridays, for whatever reason, don't do necessarily anything different, but the results speak for themselves, right? I'm far better between Tuesday and Thursday than I am, or far more profitable, I should say, between Tuesdays and Thursdays than I am on Mondays and Fridays. Okay, for whatever reason. Okay, all right. Yes, Capital Preservation Friday. Exactly what that is. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and stop share. And now we're going to go ahead and share my charts. Okay. So give me a second here. And then I'm going to go ahead and confirm that you guys can see it. Okay. So give it a second here to load up. All right. So like as I was starting the session here, as I was preparing to start the session, I was seeing that gold was kind of moving a little bit. So let's start with a daily chart. Okay, so daily chart. Okay, we're continuing in our series of bullish candles here, right? So relatively wide range here yesterday, right? Look at the range that we had in yesterday's trading. Top to bottom, we had wicks on both ends and a relatively large body that ended up being engulfing. Right now, we have another candle who is equally as daunting as the one we had yesterday, with little to no candle, little to no wick. Okay, so again, looks like we've obviously broken some structure to the upside, right? No surprise there, right? Broken some structure to the upside, and otherwise bullish move. Okay, so dailies telling us bullish and developing bullish. 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart is telling us much of the same. We are getting close to ADR to the top side. We've been a lot of long positions, I guess, in the market right now in gold. Okay, so given this move here, and the fact that the location that we're in, may cause the market to dip here a little bit, right? To retrace a little bit, or at least remain in range. So again, given the proximity of where price is currently. Okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and open up the 30-minute chart. All right, 30-minute chart. Okay, so here we are again, the top end of the range. We're starting to see some action from the top end of the range. Let's go ahead and remove all the drawings here. So we're at the top end of the range, nice zoomed in. Okay. Top end of the range, we have ADR exhaustion to the top here. So let's see, going to go ahead and open up fixed range volume profile. I'm going to go back to the 930 bar. 830 bar, and drag that to the 430 bar. Okay, there we are. Okay, so we are above value. No surprise, right? We shouldn't be surprised by that because the market has been in a steady climb. Now we did close above. Now, one thing I wanted to call out here, guys, is kind of a new entry into my suite of limited indication or indicators. I have added a EMA here, 233-day EMA. And that's really, again, to kind of say, okay, I'm going to be looking long above. And if I'm below the EMA, I'm going to be looking short, right? So something I had used in the past, all right, to kind of guide me again on the right direction of the trade. But now something I've added to the sort of arsenal of indicators. Okay. So we're seeing quite a bit of let's see, action right now in so I don't know, let's see, go ahead and locate my initial balance. I'm constantly working with my, so go ahead and open up initial balance, and here we are. Okay, we've again creating a little bit, not a relatively large initial balance range. This is not the one I'm looking for, so I'm looking for an hour range. Okay, so but nonetheless, we have a relatively wide range. As I mentioned, as a result of the news, we had a push higher, and that caused sellers to step in here for now. Okay, quite a bit of volume to start the open here. IB range is relatively large. We are above value. Okay, but below VWAP at the moment. All right. So let's see. Let me go ahead and call out these ADR levels. So we have ADR high here at is it 23.65.4. We have settlement, which I don't have here either. Let's see if I can pull that up. We have settlement at 23.50. Okay, settlement 23.50, and then we have ADR low, which is, let's see, where's ADR low? ADR low here at let's say 23.22.9. 23.22.9. This is ADR low. Oops. Okay. All right. Now, another thing I want to add to this is my ASR. So Let's see, we got a really wide range here between, okay, let's see. Make sure that I'm looking at the right times. We're going to have the lower fill to be green, upper fill red, and we're going to look at New York session. Change this, I think. Let's keep it at New York. I think it recognizes the instrument. So click OK. I'll go ahead and close out the other ADR here. Okay, so here we are reversing off the top of ASR. Okay, we're reversing off the top of ASR. So ASR here is 2360. Right, 2360. And ASR low is 2329.9. Is that right? Yeah, 2329.9. 2329.9. Okay, so here we are that we're going to be watching today in gold. Okay, beyond the initial balance range and initial balance edges. So we're getting a little bit of reaction away from ASR at the moment. We are at the low end of initial balance. You know, it appears to me that we're probably going to come back and retest value area high here at 2349.1, which is also around the same level here for the EMA here at, I get that right. Looks like I might have got that wrong, guys. The settlement is 2344.6. I was looking at EMA. 2344.6 is settlement. EMA is 2350. So 2350 seems like a logical area to be supportive, right? And why do I say that? Well, if I look to the left, where do I see some buying? See a little bit of a consolidation range around the value area high. So I would expect that level would be supportive. Okay, supportive of price. Until that happens, you know, I'm not sure I'm you know, super keen on participating in a short. Okay, here, just because when the daily chart is telling me that we're still relatively long. Okay, in the market. So I'm going to be looking for the lower time frame to line up with the higher time frame, and well, I need to look and see what reference levels do I have to support longs, and that's the ones I just mentioned. We have EMA, we have value area high, we have settlement price. Okay, this over here. So I'm gonna change this. See if we can change. No, that's not one. Change this here, guys. Style. We're gonna call this is kind of a gold color, and thickness is going to be bigger. And I like to use what I like to use. I like to use dots instead of circles. There you go. All right. So we have settlement price down here. We have EMA down here. We have top of value area high. All levels that could support a reversal in current price action. Okay. If I'm a seller, well, you know, I've already kind of left an area that could have provided me a reasonable short. So I'm kind of, like I said, that would be kind of a, you know, counter trend trade, overall counter trend trade on the higher time frame. So I would say I'm not super keen on that trade early on. So, okay, let's take a look and see if there's any questions. So is ADR high the upper level of the day? Potentially. Yeah, but that could potential. But I mean, we have initial balance. We have initial balance now. I said I have ASR up now. I think ADR was a little bit higher. But yeah, that could be the top. I mean, that could be our target for the top side, right? But we have initial balance that's already above above that area. So yeah, so I would say that if we're thinking long, then we need to wait for, good location, right? Right now, I'm not really keen on it. Seems like it's in the middle. It's like in the upper third. So I'd like to demand that price come down a little lower, and participate at that point. Okay, assuming I get the right, kind of price action to support it. Okay, all right. Yeah, not at the moment, no. I'm going to demand that price come to a level where I can manage my risk, and this is not an area. I feel like if I enter along here, that I have to take a stop down below EMA, which is, I think, a rather daunting, kind of stop here. And plus I need to see some. In addition, I need to see at least one candle, reverse in my direction before I even entertain it. So, okay, so. All right. I think that's all I have to say for gold. Okay. That is correct, Squeeze. I have not lost my it wasn't an XFA at that time. Okay. XFAs were not in existence. Okay. XFAs were not in existence. Once you passed the combine, they moved you to funded. So when I was back when I was I guess they call it active funded now. Yeah. So once I managed now, up until then, right, I was like everybody else, right? I was running through the combine, trying to figure it out. I had a few resets here and there. And then finally got to, a place where, I was seeing the markets and executing trades in proper locations. And once I became funded, knock on wood, 3.5+ years, I have the original account that I started with. Okay. So it can be done. All right. Okay. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at, let's see if I can do this. All right. Perfect. Okay. So we'll look at this here. All right. We're going to look at the crude oil market. Again, we always start with a daily chart. Okay. Kind of look and see where we're at. Again, kind of similar look and feel, guys, a similar look and feel to gold, right? We're coming off. I don't know why I'm calling this all these different colors, guys. Let me turn this off here. So we have, again, that EMA I was telling you about. We're above. We are reacting away from a demand zone. Why do I say that? Well, look at that area right there, right? I got a little tool here, guys. You see this, right? You see that area right there? That area right there is, you see the wicks? Those wicks are indicating that that area is being rejected, right? If that area is being rejected, well, that's the demand zone. That means price is being driven higher. Okay. So market looks bullish again, unfortunately for me, because that means I'm going to pay higher at the gas pump. I really need to think about getting a non-gas consuming car or move to another state where there's better gas prices. I'm getting killed here in California. Okay. 4-hour chart. Oops. Let's see, just do this. 4-hour chart. Okay, hide some of this. This is way too noisy for me. All right. Okay. So let's remove that little dot here. Okay, right there. Okay. All right. So 4-hour telling us, relatively the same thing. Okay, we're kind of staircasing our way higher, coming up on an area where we could potentially see some sellers. Okay, so while we're long, we have to be careful with our longs around 85. Okay, maybe as high as 86. So these areas, we're kind of entering in some territory where sellers could step in. Again, how do I know that? I'm not Nostradamus. No, I don't have any magic wand or anything along those lines. I simply look to the left and see, okay, where are the major sellers in the market? Where, what footprints have I seen of a Bigfoot sister, right? What do I mean by Bigfoot sister? Well, I use Bigfoot sister as evidence to the sell side, and I use Bigfoot evidence to the buy side. Who's Bigfoot? Well, Bigfoot for me are institutions, hedge funds, people who move markets, right? So I have to be wary that Bigfoot's sister is hanging out in these areas, right? Waiting to ambush Bigfoot. Okay, so that's kind of that's the kind of the storyline that I'm kind of playing out in my mind. Although we are in a bullish kind of move, we're still technically inside this the range of the bears here, right? If I'm really thinking long, then I need price to eventually break above 84.72. Okay, if I'm really if the longs are serious about what they're trying to accomplish here. All right. So while I'm seeing some bullish price action, let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Okay, let's go ahead and open up my initial balance. So we're starting to establish the initial balance. So these other lines that you see here, guys, these are like extension areas. Okay, this area is a measure of 100% extension of this. This over here is the 200% extension of this. Again, kind of thinking of it as kind of like a rubber band. You can think of it as kind of like the one standard deviation from VWAP and that kind of thing. So that's something that's offered by the tool that I'm using to do the initial balance. All right. So we have a developing initial balance. Go ahead and bring up my kind of doing some changes to my chart here, guys, and I lost some of my go-to indicators here. So we have ADR here to the top side. We have ADR well below us. So relatively large, range here, right? If we are able to sell on the top and buy in the bottom, that would be the ideal, right? So let's go ahead and add ASR here. So ASR, I'm going to turn it off here for a bit while I'm doing my analysis. And then I'm going to open up fixed range volume profile, locate the 9 a.m. bar, drag that over to the 1330 bar. Okay, so similar to gold, right? Again, we are above value, right? Buyers are in control of the market. Okay, bulls are in control of the market. So the question is, well, I probably don't have the VWAP. That's the volume average price. Okay, and then I'm gonna turn off the bands, guys. I don't use the bands, although if you struggle with finding reversal areas, having bands is a good guide. Okay. All right, so I'm relatively a good distance away from VWAP, right? And I have a developing bearish candle here. Now I'm not really keen on its current location. I mean, if I was thinking short, I'd like it to be closer to this. But now, since I'm not close to this, maybe I can use IB Edge. I'm going to go ahead and make this into bigger a little bit so you guys can see. Inputs. We'll make the labels huge. Okay, so you guys can see them. All right. So 84.45 would be an area, right, that I would use to kind of maybe potentially fade if I felt that was kind of the path of least resistance. Or we have IB low 84.13, which is currently kind of bouncing between, right? So otherwise, I'm looking lower for a buy, right? Value area high, somewhere in that or ADR down to the downside. So with that said, let's go ahead and see if we can capture what those levels are. Okay, so we have ADR high here, and that high is 84.90. 84.90. Okay, we got ADR low. We got ADR low at 82.72. 82.72. Need to add my settlement indicator here. Okay, now settlement, where's settlement? Settlement is 83.77. 83.77 is my settlement price. 83.77 settle. And let's see. Click OK here. Make sure it's visible here. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn off ADR and open up ASR, average session range, and give you similar values based on session rather than a blend of the session. So we have 85.20 to the top side, 85.20. And then on the bottom, we have, what does it look like? That's 83.55. I think it was, or 83.50. 83, let's call it 83.53 as ASR low. 83.53. Okay. All right. So those are my levels here, guys. I have ADR to the left, ASR to the right, seller price. So for me right now, based on the higher time frame chart, again, we're kind of working bullish, but I'm, again, hesitant to be a bull when I have a developing bearish candle, and it's not at a level where I can kind of manage my risk. So I'm going to wait for price to come down to, like this here, right? This was it was a nice location. It came down to ASR. Okay. This is actually reversed here. So let me. All right, this looks better for me. Okay. So this again, this is another area where it came off of a reference level that I can support and manage my risk. So I'm going to wait for price to reach something like that before for me to participate. If I'm a bull, I would love to see it reverse off of ADR. If I'm, also, ADR IB low could be an area, right? For a reversal, or maybe the top of this range that it recently broke could be another area. So I need price structure to support whatever direction of the market. I'm just not going to pick any random location in the market without having some of the levels that we watch nearby. Okay. All right. Gonna pop in here. You're paying $3.29 for premium. Bryce, do you want me to bounce you off the chat? I'm paying close to double that, right? We're over 6, guys. So, okay. Anyway, moving on. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. All right. This is the first equity of choice. All right. Okay. So again, starting with the daily, I'm going to speed up here a little bit. Just make sure that I don't carry this all the way into the start of the session, because I know I do have some opening range traders here. Okay. So what to make of this? Well, a lot of overlapping candles here. So this kind of speaks to more less about trend and more about continuation. Okay. So we made a move down and we're kind of like, having overlapping candles. So is this going to be a down day or is this going to be an up day? Well, I'm not sure. Okay. We have had a series of overlapping candles here the last few days. So my view, okay, I mean, if I look strictly at this, well, I see that we broke structure to the upside. Okay. 18,000, is it 18,000? 18,000 seems like a logical area for price to stall here. Okay. So I'd be interested to see how price reacts off of 18,000. We're a little bit of ways away from it right now, but we are, trying to push higher. So 18,000 is probably the first decision point that folks will need to make here. So for our chart, whoa, let's turn that off. This is way too busy. All right. So we are below this EMA that I was telling you about, right? So EMA, the way I follow it is I'm long above, short below. Well, where's price? Below EMA. So I'm looking for short opportunities. Do I want to buy short down at the extremes? No. I want to sell at strength, right? So up here, as I mentioned, 17,900. That seems like a logical level for me. Okay. A logical level for me to look for a short. 18,000. This is prime seller real estate. Okay. Does that mean that it cannot get through it? No. I'm just saying, I'm looking to the left and seeing, okay, I had some sellers here. Chances are those same folks who are sellers here are also sellers if price comes back to it. Okay. All right. Let's move to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Okay. We've been kind of really in an ugly kind of range here. Okay. In Nasdaq. Nice push prior to the market, right? But then really choppy, ugly price action. Do not want to be part of this kind of action. This is where this kind of price action is where combines go to die, right? This is not the kind of price action that's going to grow accounts for sure. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile. So here we are at Thursday. Click over here and drag that across to the 1330 or 430 bar here. Okay, so we are well above value, but this feels like almost a little bit of a repair day, right? I think like price wants to come back and test the conviction of these guys. Okay, we have EMA. We're on the 30-minute chart. We're above EMA. So that's something to consider. We have value area high here. We'll go ahead and turn off ASR and turn on ADR. Okay, so we have ADR above us. I'll go ahead and turn this off. I think the psychological level of 18,000, I think we're already aware of. Okay, so seeing some price action that indicates that we may head lower in this market. Where can this stop? Well, where are the buyers? Well, this is an indication that there's buyers around ADR low here. Okay, so I'm leaning that the Nasdaq is going to creep lower here or go ahead lower, right? Based on what I'm seeing in the price, right? Below VWAP, below VWAP, below VWAP, right? So as long as we stay below VWAP, it has to be toward sellers. All right, let's go ahead and call out these ADR levels. We have ADR high is 17, what is it? 9, let's call it 982.25. Okay, again, guys, this is not like we don't treat these levels as a scalp, as kind of with a scalpel, right? Which kind of these areas, zones, right? 1825. Okay, and then ADR low is, what is that? 17,631.50. 17,631.50. Okay, and then we have settlement at 17,816. Settle. Okay, settle at 17,816.50. Okay, we'll go ahead and turn off ADR levels and add ASR levels. We have ASR here. Okay, so we're above. So we have ASR high, which has already been exceeded at 17. Let's say, call it 17,498. 17,498. 17,498. And low here at let's say 17,215. 17 to 15.50. 17 to 15.50. Okay. All right. So we have our levels here. Okay. Not nice and visible here. Okay. So what are we looking at? Well, my view is that we're going to head lower. Okay. And we're going to head lower until we get to this area here and then potentially reverse. Okay. If that doesn't work out, right, the next logical level for price to reverse is down this area, the top end of ASR. Again, very, very similar area where buyers have taken the market higher. So these are a couple of locations for me to participate. Now, if I'm looking short, well, I have a level now, right, that would support a short, VWAP, right? My preference would be that it would be a little bit higher, right? A level maybe like ADR or maybe initial balance range and some edge here, right? We do have, we do have settlement above us, right? That could serve, and it's already reacted. It's already reacted away from settlement, right? You see that little spike up into settlement and down she went, right? So we do have a reference level that's already showing us that, yes, there are some sellers in the market that are potentially looking to drive price lower. All right. So yeah, so I guess I'm a little bearish Nasdaq. Okay, kind of from what I'm seeing. All right, so let's take a look at ES, and then we'll go ahead and close off with YM. Like I said, this is like almost a splitting image, guys, of what we're seeing. Okay, so again, same deal, right? A lot of overlapping candles. Overlapping candles indicate congestion kind of thing. Yeah, I'm thinking more in range kind of trading versus trend trading, right? We're not in a sequence here where we're making new highs and new lows. We have overlapping green and red candles. So whatever trend is trying to establish is having a little bit of difficulty, right? There are definitely sellers in this market, even though we are kind of pushing higher. All right, so 4-hour chart. Okay, same kind of thing. We are up at a level right below this EMA that I was telling you about that's already kind of reacted away from it. Top end of that range. Again, if I'm a buyer, I need to see price above 51.32 or 51.34. Not just the break of it. I needed to break and hold, right? Whoever these people are, if they intend to take the market higher, they need a new high. Okay, they need a new high. Otherwise, it's going to continue. It's going to stay in this kind of range. All right. So 30-minute chart. Again, same kind of price action we were kind of talking about in the in NQ. Right, we're below. Actually, you can see, we have price above VWAP, below VWAP, above VWAP, below VWAP. That is just, again, an indication that we're potentially heading into a range market. Okay. Now, if we are able to close below this, all right, then maybe I'll start to change my tune and get on the bandwagon for the shorts. Okay. But if we remain in this kind of wicking around this area, above and below VWAP, well, I'm going to stick to the range. Okay. So it needs to make either a new high or a new low for me to start to have a really strong opinion one way or the other. Right now, my view is bearish. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and draw my fixed range volume profile. Let's see. Thursday back to here. Thursday right there. Drag that across to this. All right, so we are above value. So bulls are in control, but they're having a hard time taking it higher. Okay, we've gotten some reaction away. So let's go ahead and call out our levels. Okay, let's turn off ASR and turn on ADR. Okay, so we have a level here around, so we got ADR high. ADR high, it's kind of a thin range here, but ADR high is, I'm going to call it, what is that? 51.70.75. Okay, ADR low is, where is ADR low? There it is, 50.93.25. 93.25. We have settlement at 51.31.75. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and turn off ADR here and turn on ASR. Okay. See what levels those provide. We're already above. Okay. So we're going to say 50, let's say 50.70 on the top side, ASR, 50.70. And on the bottom side, we're going to call it 50.10, 50.70, 50.10. Okay, nice round numbers. Okay, 50.10. Okay, so those are going to be my levels of interest. Again, like I said before in NQ, if I'm a buyer, I'm going to be looking down at these levels by 50.70, 50.80, that kind of range. If I'm a seller, well, I'm kind of at a level right now. I'm just not seeing the follow through on anything, and maybe that'll change when the market opens. Okay. So I'm at a location where I have a reference level above settlement price. I'm just not, I guess, super excited about price action away from this level, right? It's kind of almost feels like it's kind of building, people are, kind of gathering to potentially take price higher, which is, if I'm a bear, I don't want that to be the case, right? Yeah, I would much rather be a buyer down at these levels. Okay. So I'm at a seller location, not really reacting as well or as briskly as I would expect off of these levels. So, all right. Let's close off here. I'm just gonna pop in and see if any major questions. Yeah, so the average session range is a private indicator, SR. That's something that I use. So ASR is private. ADR is something that is developed by Diademi, Robert Diademi. If you go to TradingView and look for ADR levels, Diademi is the author of that tool. Diademi. Okay, that's the author of that tool. The ASR is private. Okay, it's not publicly available. It's proprietary, I guess. Okay, all right. Okay, so it's gonna let's take a look at the final market. Okay, that's the YM. Okay, similar kind of thing. It's kind of reacting off of ASR at the moment, right? We have the ASR range. You can see how price is reacting off of it. So let's go ahead and add that here. I'm just gonna, guys, I don't expect that I'm gonna get much more in the way of levels here, by looking at I think what I saw in the AQ and saw in the ES. I suspect the same is the case for YM. I don't expect that's the doing the multi-timer from analysis on YM is going to give me any new information. So we're just going to stick with the 30-minute here. Let's see, ASR here is, what was that, 38,360? Let's call it. Now this is ASR now. Okay, so 38,360. All right, average session range. That's the high. And then the low looks like 38,000. Okay. 38,000. ADR low. Now, again, this is ASR. So I'm going to put this 38,000. Okay. Let's turn off ASR and turn on ADR, which is the publicly available one. Okay. ADR. And that's coming in at 38,600 on the top side. 38,600 on the top side. And our low is coming in at, what is that? 38,091. 38,091. Okay. All right. And then what we got? Settlement at 38,345. Settlement at 38,345. Okay. All right. So those are going to be my levels. Again, one thing I have yet to do yet is the fixed range volume profile. So I'm going to go ahead and locate that here. So that's over here. Drag that across to the 1330 bar, which is there. Okay. Similar to all the other equity markets, we are above value. Okay. Hanging out around settlement and VWAP. Okay. Giving us a nice location. But honestly, if this is going to be acting as a reversal zone, it should have reversed by now. Maybe the market participants are going to be coming in here in about 4 minutes or so. But if this was going to be a level that I was going to be caring about, short, then I would expect to have seen the move here pretty brisk, right? Now that may still happen here in the open, all right? So if I'm a buyer, well, buyer down at ADR low or value area low or point of control. These are all areas where I would consider a buy. Value area high, another area I would consider a buy. But at current levels, I'm kind of leaning on the short side, all right, in the market. So yeah, I think that's what I have for the markets today, guys. No, the private indicator is not private, Robert. You can go to it's called Initial Balance, and the author of that tool is CZOA. CZOA. Okay, you can open up that Initial Balance tool. That's a publicly available tool. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's what I have for the markets. 3 minutes before the open here. So want to encourage you guys to trade well and trade safe. And more importantly, you want to trade like a market trader. All right, guys. Have a fantastic trading session. And yeah, see you guys next time.